Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me for this daily collective reading. Let's have a look and see, where will we be guided to go today? What are the messages for us to reflect on today? Ooh, okay, Nine of Swords in reverse. So this tells me that your worries are easing. Your worries are settling. You're starting to feel less bound by these thoughts that are keeping you up at night or making you really not feel secure, or you're really distrusting something and you just keep playing it back and back in your head. But that seems to be subsiding. Let's get some context around that Nine of Swords. What's going on? But certainly seeing it in reverse is nice because it's subsiding. There's the Queen of Swords also in reverse. So you may be feeling a little uncertain. So perhaps that's why, you were worried in the first place. Perhaps you were worried in the first place because you're feeling a little bit uncertain, but something is coming to turn that around. What is turning the worries around? The uncertainty led to a lot of worries. And now we're putting our mind at rest with the Four of Swords. So this is all swords. So this is very interesting. Your first row here, you've been thinking, you've been replaying things maybe. You're not certain about certain things, and you're certain about other things, and you're letting other things go completely. So this is a very interesting first three cards. It makes me feel like you've sort of found freedom in the uncertain, and you're not letting it worry you anymore. That's sort of how I'm seeing this, is that this feels like surrender. This feels like you've surrendered your worries and you're putting your mind at rest, even though you're uncertain. You're putting your mind at rest and saying, I surrender to this, and what will be will be. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's try and get some context to this. It feels like you've closed a cycle, and you're doing so with surrender and trust. Let's have a look at this. The Magician coming out here. Oh, it's stuck in my hand. So you've been thinking, and as you're thinking about things and surrendering to things, this Magician sort of came out in reverse also, but then he got stuck in my hand. So it's funny. It almost feels like you're starting a journey again. The Magician is the card that follows the Fool. So it's card 1. This is truly a new journey. So I feel like you have let things go. You have surrendered certain worries. You've given them up. And you've said, you know what? Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. That's how this feels. Is that you put your worries to rest by surrendering them. And even though you have, maybe some lack of certainty about where this path is going to go or what it will look like, it's almost like you've committed to just saying, well, just for today, I'm not going to worry. And the interesting thing is, if we say that to ourselves every day, before you know it, you've stopped worrying and you're just living in the present moment. And I feel like that's why we're seeing the Magician in reverse or not in reverse. It feels to me like, it kind of feels like you're starting a new journey. The Magician is card 1. You're starting to tap into yourself in a new way. And I feel like it started with you surrendering some of this sword energy here. What else is going on today in this situation? Four of Wands coming out and the Eight of Swords again in reverse. So it's interesting seeing these two cards come out together. I kind of want to put them right by the Magician. It's almost like you decided inner peace is not negotiable. I must have my inner peace as expressed by this Four of Wands. And I must feel whole and complete inside no matter what's going on around me. And it's like you decided, I'm not going to be afraid of the consequences anymore. I'm just going to trust. I feel like you have walked away from a cycle that had you in your head a lot. and you're still not certain about that situation, experience, whatever it was. But somehow you've put it in the past and said, I'm moving forward towards whatever gives me inner peace. And this situation, this dynamic with all these swords does not give me inner peace. And so I'm going to surrender to it and trust that it's going to be fine. It feels like, and again, that's kind of putting it generally, but it almost feels like you've decided to switch it, to flip the script, instead of focusing on what is causing you to feel trapped and fearful and a lack of certainty. It's almost like you flipped the script and said, no, I'm going to focus on what brings me inner peace. I'm going to focus on what gives me joy. I'm going to focus on what resonates for me and makes me feel harmonious, instead of focusing on things that make me worry and stress and not able to relax and sleep. And I feel like I can't trust what's going on and I'm fearful. Instead of focusing on that, you've totally flipped the script by focusing on what lights you up. And it's interesting, by being in the present moment and being grateful for the present moment, we have the ability to sort of take things one day at a time and trust that if we are giving energy and giving time and giving of ourselves to things that bring harmony and peace on an inner level, that changes things, that flips the script more than it sounds that it would. When there's a lot of worries and anxiety, if we sit in that, that's where we give our energy, and then that's what expands. Then your worries and anxieties expand. So sometimes we need to sort of unplug from that and focus on something else. And I feel like that's what this reading is saying. Page of Cups just came out. So this is very transformative. I really feel like this is a signal of whoever's resonating with this. You've started a new cycle. You have started something that has come from an ending that I feel was in your hands. You ended a thought pattern. You ended a way of thinking. You ended a belief. You ended this mental situation you were in. Mental in the sense that it was really, really heavy on your mind. And I feel like somehow you have flipped the script on this. You're focusing on what brings you joy, and it's been very transformative emotionally with this Page of Cups coming out. Interesting. Ooh, Hanged Man coming out as well. Let me grab him. He fell on the floor. He's very flexible. So this confirms it. You're trusting the timing on things. You're trusting. You're hanging out and saying, I'm not going to spend my day worrying about things that haven't happened yet. I'm not going to spend my day worrying about consequences and fearing outcomes that haven't happened yet. Instead, I'm going to do what brings me joy and what lights me up and what makes me feel inner peace. I'm going to focus on what I'm grateful for instead of focusing on what is causing mental pain right now or a mental conflict, It feels transformative. It feels transformative. Okay, we got 2 cards coming out. The Emperor and the 3 of Pentacles. So yeah, you're taking charge of your day. You're taking charge of your mood, your day, your attention. You're building a foundation for something that brings you peace and joy. You're letting some stuff go. Some stuff, granted, that you might not fully understand. You might not have all the certainty. You might not have gotten closure on certain things. You might not really know why certain things happened, or you might be asking yourself, how could this have happened, or why did this happen? Well, it may have happened to make way for this transformation here. It may have happened so that you could realize that's not where your happiness is. That's not where your peace is. That's not your vibe. It's just not your vibe anymore. Something has shifted here. You're taking the lead on it. Aries energy here with this Emperor card. You're taking the lead on something here, and you're really going for it. You're building something new for yourself. Something grounded in inner reward. Something grounded. It's in the material world when I see these pentacles. So it could involve a new job. It could involve new relationships. It could involve new collaborations. 3 of Pentacles is really a time where we collaborate consciously with people that that we want to be with and that we want to work with, and that we have like-minded, and we can share our skills and resources and create something to build a new foundation for something beautiful that resonates with you, not something that has you worried all night, not something that has you feeling fearful. I feel like we're seeing all of these cards in reverse. All of the swords are in reverse here. I think because you have let it go. You're not hanging out in that mental prison anymore. It's very beautiful. You've set yourself free, and it almost feels like you're just trusting this. You're trusting that whatever it is that you're building is going to bring you to this beautiful moment of inner peace where you're grateful. And I feel like you've focused on what you're grateful for. It's almost like this feeling of having sat down to think about things and then thought, I'm just going to focus on what I'm actually grateful for. I'm not going to focus on what makes me feel afraid, or what makes me feel anxious, or what makes me feel like I can't sit still and I can't be certain about myself. I feel like you've let go of something that was maybe at the natural end of the cycle. I mean, seeing a 9 and an 8 here, it tells me that you were moving towards an ending, but maybe resisting it a little bit. But then suddenly, no more resistance. Just going with it, trusting the timing, trusting the process. This somehow initiated a massive transformation for you emotionally, and it feels like you got a spark and you were like, I know what to do now. I know what I have to do. And you're doing it. And I think it's working out for you. If this reading resonates, let's have a look and see what's on the bottom of the deck. It's the Two of Cups. So it's very interesting, my friends. Like, you're moving forward towards something. It could even lead to a relationship, or it might just be you being in alignment with yourself and really seeing yourself and saying, yeah, I see me. I see how I've changed. I see my transformation. I see what happens when I release these things that feel like anxieties and feel like worries. And it might even be limiting beliefs, right? Like it's something in the thought process that you've surrendered, and it's changed things for you on an emotional level. I think it's brought you to balance when I see this Two of Cups. It could also be that this is moving you towards further alignment that's maybe bringing in a relationship. It's very interesting to see the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck here. Okay, my friends, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm sending you so much love and light. And hopefully we'll see you again for another reading very soon. Take care, my friends.